So if you've seen any of my videos, there's a pretty good chance you know I'm bullish on uranium. In this video, I'm going to discuss my uranium price target, how high I think the price of uranium will go, and what are the chances of it going to different price ranges. I hope you enjoy it. Please give this a quick read, and remember to always question if anyone, especially some random person on YouTube, knows what they're talking about. So this video is going to focus on only the price of physical uranium. It's going to discuss at what prices the risk of price reversal or uh, bear market will increase. But that's going to be due to supply, which is going to be due to different things coming online at different price ranges. And so just remember, there's always risk, but risk increases depending on the price. Just a few notes as we start off. One, I'm naturally pessimistic, a bit risk averse in a weird way. Um, I would much rather sell too early than too late. Um, I say that now, but we'll see. The number, yeah, the number in all of the presentations, and so that's what I'm using, are probably dated, meaning they're old and they're made to look as fluffy as possible. So we'll actually have to watch to see what's going on. Also, mines obviously don't open overnight. Even the ones that are already built take a while to open. So again, we'll have to watch that. And as of right now, the uranium market is particularly opaque. And I don't know if that will change as new stuff comes online. Obviously, I'll be watching the prospective sites to see what changes, but um, there's no reason I'd think that when it goes from a supply deficit to a supply surplus that we notice immediately. Lastly, I'm still not a geologist or an engineer. I'm just an investor, so do your own research. Okay, so everyone, please bear in mind, I don't know when you're watching this video, which is kind of important, but at the time that I'm speaking right now, the bid ask of the price of uranium is between 29.10 and 29.15. So just keep that in mind. I don't know when you might see this video or what, but right now, this is the price. Okay, to start it off, I'm going to call this the easy money zone. Not that it's guaranteed. Obviously, anything can happen, nuclear black swan event or whatever, but nothing really, I don't see anything changing with the price of uranium under $45. So I think it's probably, very probably going to reach $45 and without any new mines coming online, no new supply, nothing. Um, basically, if the nuclear industry continues in its current path, I think it's very probably going to reach here. I'll give it 95% chance. Between 45 and $55, I'm going to call this zone the upside risk because while I do think some of the best projects in the world and some of the idled projects might start coming back online at this zone, mainly MacArthur River, which Cameco said they're targeting between $50 and $60. I think some of Kazakhstan's ISR could come back online at these prices. Um, Basically, I do expect some new supply at this area, and there may be a supply or price correction in uranium, but I do think at this point there is continuation to the upside because I don't think enough new supply will be coming online at these prices. But my odds of it getting past $55, I'm going to say is, for me, I think 85%. Next is the $55 to $65 price range. Now, right now, based on the research that I'm seeing, based on the presentations that I'm seeing, the information, reading, everything, it looks like $65 should be the neutral price, meaning I do expect the price of uranium to eventually head to around 65 if it could stabilize. In the past cycles, it has not stabilized all too well. But basically, the 65, I think there's a 75% chance it gets past 65, but I do believe that uh, the that's currently my long-term price target. Now, having said that it's my price target, my plan right now is to take some significant amount of my money off the table in the uranium space when it gets to around $65, whether that's picking which equities I take off the table or uranium itself or whatever. Um, that's my plan at present, but I'm going to say right now that I'm intending to watch the money very closely because if we get to 65 and there's no new projects being financed or whatever, then I'm obviously wrong and the price obviously needs to go higher. Some say it needs to get closer to 80 to incentivize new production. I don't know. I will have to watch what everyone is doing, watch all the projects and see where the money is going. Now, despite it being above my price target, commodities are cyclical. So, I do think there is a good chance that that the price of uranium, because uranium is a commodity, will surpass my target. It will probably go above. My thinking is it'll probably come back down at some point, but um, I do think that there is a 60% chance that uranium goes in the 65 to $75 range. Uh, and I do intend to keep some, at least, your money on the table in case the price momentum continues. But again, we'll watch the money. And then, if there's not enough projects coming online and things are taking too long, uranium could go even higher. 75 to $100 would be, in my opinion, at this point, a fear of a supply crunch where utilities are willing to pay much more for uranium because it's not a big part of their cost, interestingly enough. Um, and if it gets to this point, if it gets to $100, please do not fall in love with your investments because the higher it goes, the further and harder it will snap back down. But that being said, my odds of it getting into this region or getting up to the top of this region, I would say at 35% right now, just because I don't see that many projects and this is going, it already has gone much slower than I thought possible. It's different this time. Uranium is going to replace oil. Uranium is going to replace all renewables. Nuclear power is the power of the future, and utilities can afford any price. If you start hearing this stuff, it might be because the price of uranium has passed $100. Don't worry, it won't stay there long um, because more supply is going to come online. And is do I think there's a super likelihood of this happening? No, I would say about 10%. That being said, if it does, there could be more money made in this segment than all the others combined. But again, I think at this point, 10% chance of this happen, which isn't nothing, but you know, it's ride the price at your own risk at this point. Now, I said watch the money a few times in this presentation, but what else to watch? I would say watch the term premium on the contracts. If the long-term contracts start going significantly below the spot price, it means that there's just a short-term price race, I guess, to try and get short-term supply, but that the long-term has been worked out. So just watch that as a warning. Also, I doubt that the supply-demand balance is going to be destroyed by some 500,000 pound a year ISR production. It's more likely to be a big thing. Think next gen is far more likely to break the supply-demand imbalance with their arrow deposit than some ISR thing. So watch that. Also, big thing to watch. It doesn't really matter which way it uh, turns out. I mean, it matters for some people, but watch the result of 232 because once petition 232 gets resolved, either way, the uranium consumers will start working out their contracts because they'll be able to know where their supply is coming from. So those are just three things that I'm watching near and long term, and in addition to where the money's going, the spot price, and who's opening up mines. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation that I am kind of in some ways risk averse with my targets, but bear in mind that risk averse target of $65-ish is more than 2 times higher than where the price of uranium is today. So that's still, even the moderate target is still a long ways away from where it is today. Also, right now, I think it's fair to say that the fuel buyers don't know as much as one might think they would about uranium supply and what's going on in the whole uranium market, everything altogether. Nobody really knows as much as they should, theoretically, in this market. I don't know that that's going to change along the way. It might. Who knows? Also, lastly, the huge NextGen project and Fission project and even Denison's rather large project, they are years out. So this isn't a next few months type story. It's a over the coming years type uh, story that will play out as it plays out over the coming years. So we'll see what things look like then. This isn't overnight. Lastly, just a big thanks to everyone who watched or subscribed or sent any type of message. Uh, Thanks for watching. Have a great day.